I appreciate every single person who spent their time here with me. Your support is something I can't measure in words. Tonight, I bring you a story that will not let you go until the final breath of it is told. It began with a message, plain, ordinary, harmless. At least, that's what I thought. We need closure. One last night, I stare at the screen, unable to breathe. It was from my wife, the woman who had been the center of my world. My chest tightened, and a shiver spread through me. At first, I told myself it couldn't be real. Closure? With an X? Not her. Not us. We had spent 7 years married, nearly a decade together. I thought of when I first held her hand, of the nights we stayed awake until the sun came up, of the dreams we built side by side. And now, one short message threatened to tear it all apart. I asked her about it carefully, hiding the storm that churned inside me. She looked at me, her tone soft, and said she just needed to see him one more time, to leave nothing unsaid. She swore it would change nothing between us. Her eyes seemed honest, almost enough to make me believe her. Almost, but the seed of doubt had already been planted. The following days, I began noticing things I had once overlooked. Her phone, once left openly on the counter, was suddenly hidden away. She laughed at her own jokes with a forced lightness, her attention slipping from our conversations. Strange receipts appeared, expenses that didn't add up. When I asked, she brushed me off. It's just work. You worry too much. Suspicion doesn't come loudly. It seeps in, slow and quiet, until it fills every corner. I caught the smallest things. The way her lips twitched during certain calls, how her eyes flicked to the door late at night, or the faint perfume that wasn't hers. I told myself I was imagining it, but the unrest grew heavier each day. Then came the night everything shattered. I tried to create a moment of intimacy, pouring wine and lighting candles. But she was distant, her face lit by the glow of her phone under the table. My pulse quickened when I glimpsed a notification. Can't wait tonight. The world stopped. My throat closed. I reached for her hand, but she pulled away. She whispered that it was nothing, but the emptiness in her voice said otherwise. I stayed awake, replaying memories I once cherished. They now looked different, darker. The late-night work calls. The weekend spent visiting family. The laughter that felt scripted. The puzzle pieces formed a cruel picture. The next morning, I made a choice. Not out of paranoia, but survival. I followed her. My heart pounded as I trailed her into the city to a hotel. Through the glass, I saw him. Her ex. They laughed like no time had passed. The way they leaned toward each other, the subtle touches, told me everything. So this was closure. A lie wrapped in a word of something noble. I didn't confront her then. I stood there hollow as the truth carved its mark on me. I walked away like a shadow, feeling less alive with each step. When I returned home, she was waiting, her face a mask of false innocence. She began to speak, but I cut her off. My voice was steady, though it carried the weight of finality. I saw everything. The walls of our life collapsed in silence. She packed her things mechanical, eyes lifeless. She didn't cry, didn't beg. Maybe her guilt had already numbed her. I watched without speaking. Relief and sorrow swirled inside me. Relief that the truth was clear, sorrow for the woman I once believed in. She left, and the house echoed with her absence. I had prepared for this moment. Accounts closed, protections in place. The marriage that once promised eternity ended not with a fight, but with quiet finality. In the weeks that followed, memories haunted me everywhere. I passed the cafe where we once shared laughter and dreams. The air was heavy with what was lost, but alongside the grief, there was clarity. I had been betrayed, yes, but I had also been set free. I didn't hate her. Hate would have been too simple. Instead, I carried a deep sorrow, an understanding of weakness and flawed love. She went looking for closure in the arms of another and lost the home she already had. I found something different, the strength to close the book without losing myself. As I shut the door behind her last suitcase, I whispered into the emptiness, "Goodbye. I hope you find what you were really searching for." And in that silence, I felt the weight lift, just enough to lend a faint light of hope. The betrayal had cost her everything, but it had given me something far greater, the chance to rebuild a life unburdened by lies.